you.
Whoa!
Thank you.
Home Brio, everyone. Man. You guys, wow. You guys just make it seem so easy. I mean, it's like, it's right? Am I right? I mean, it's just, it's so unforced and so natural and so fluid. It's just, it's so fun to watch you guys play live.
Thanks.
Awesome. An exciting year for you guys, man. 2018, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be knowing who you guys are, but it wasn't always that way. And I don't know if this is true, Zeke, but I got to ask you if this is a true story, because to me, this is the kind of stuff that I love. And because when these guys end up dominating the world, this will be like the legend. This will be like, oh, yeah, man. People will walk by and be like, oh, this is where it started. And I don't know if this is true, but what I heard was the first time you ever performed on a stage in San Francisco, you actually walked into the Boom Boom Room, and you were watching another band play, and you were watching, and you're like, man, I gotta get up on stage. I gotta do this. Like, this is what I was born to do. And you walked up to the band during a break, and we're like, hey, man, can I get on stage and sing with you? Is that true?
That is 200% true.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Will Maggot. I was like 18. I wasn't even supposed to be in there. And like, he was entertaining me. I guess he thought I was cute or something. He was like entertaining. I was like, yo, I got this song, man. We could learn it. These blues progressions, yada, yada, yada. I didn't know any better, but I was like, I got to get up here with y'all. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Boom Boom Room. Thank you, San Francisco.
Yeah, you know, it's such a
Oh, yeah, I actually just came. I was working at Lucky's at the time. I still had my apron on and everything. Yeah.
That's an awesome kind of root story right there. It's like, yeah, I was on break. I had 30 minutes. I had to get back and stock the produce. You know, I mean, that's so cool, man. That's awesome. Wow. And then you know, you got a 7-piece band now, which is just amazing. Congratulations to you guys, just being able to practice and organize this stuff. I don't know if anyone here is in a local band or has been a musician, but you know how hard it is just to get 3 people together in a room to play music. So you guys are, you know, are doing great things, and I'm super psyched for you guys. It's going to be a big year. Great, energetic live show. This is kind of a constrained kind of house party vibe for these guys. But if you've ever seen these guys live, I mean, they go off. And Zeke, I know that, you know, you do some backflips and stuff. You ever nervous doing that? I always worry about singers, especially bands when they're kind of first starting out. You know, they're getting on amps and they're doing backflips, and it's like, I can tell I'm getting older because I'm concerned. I'm like, he's going to break his spine. No, don't. Just take it easy. I mean, you ever get nervous doing that kind of acrobatic stuff?
I get nervous before so many shows, let alone backflips. But the execution is much more gratifying than those nerves.
Yeah. And I got to ask, you know, I was hanging out with these guys kind of in our waiting room. It's actually just a conference room where they usually do boring radio business. It's not that fancy, but it's this big table. And I was hanging out, talking with the guys a little bit. And all of a sudden, you kind of went in this zone. He was standing over his $14 grilled cheese sandwich. We were talking about the most expensive grilled cheese sandwich ever. And you kind of sat there, and you kind of just, I don't know if you were just ignoring me or you just kind of like closed your eyes, and you kind of just, you were not in the room for a moment. We were preparing for the show. Where were you mentally, or do you just kind of do that every once in a while?
I was preparing for the show. I pray before every meal. I'll meditate over my food. And I was preparing for the show because my food is what nourishes me to exert energy. As we all know, we need energy to exert. So I appreciate those moments. So we can do our best for you all.
Yeah. And I know you guys are working on a new record this year, recording right now. I do want to talk about the last record, Paradise, because you guys worked with one of the coolest dudes I've ever met, Mario C. And for those that don't know who that is, this guy, like, he produced the Beastie Boys records, License to Ill, like, all, you know, all the stuff. I remember seeing him. It was like I met him. The Beastie Boys did. It was Ill Communication. They played the Oracle Arena. And Mario C. would come to the live shows and mix live in, like, quadraphonic sound. And I remember it's like that. And I got to meet him that night. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Because, you know, it's like a geeky moment. How did that relationship come about? I mean, like, a new band, all of a sudden, this legendary dude is like, hey, man, you guys want to come in? And how did that, like, tell me that, man. How does that happen?
Man, anybody want to speak?
It was something on the grapevine. Someone connected us, and I don't even know how it happened, but we were just so thankful, and we were pretty much trying to focus on making a record and not just ask him to tell us more stories about that.
Yeah.
Like, just tell us more about the Beastie Boys and like the cool stuff you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he was an inspiration to work with. He was great.
And that's got to be such a cool thing for a new band to be exposed to someone like that. I mean, did you guys learn kind of a certain kind of, did you learn stuff from him that you're kind of applying now to the band? I mean, were there specific things you took away from that whole experience?
Yeah, he had such a fluidity with creative ideas. You know, we're a very dynamic band. We have a lot of ideas, and he was a great funnel for all of those things to be filtered in our music in a way where it was cohesive. And he was such a like relaxed, calm, just had such a fluid energy with everything in the space, and it really allowed our chemistry together as a band to be more, rooted and strengthened throughout that process.
Absolutely. And you guys, you guys have done a lot of touring for a relatively new band. What kind of? I know you guys were with the Revivalists last year for a little bit and stuff, and you've been exposed to a lot of cool bands. What's kind of like the early takeaways from the road? Like there's like a couple lessons you've learned from the road as a young band. What is it? Like clean ? Clean socks? Like what?
Can we like every person? Like,
Yeah,
have one
absolutely.
take?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, stay hydrated.
There you go.
That was mine.
Well, I mean, we exposed to a lot of different situations and run into a lot of different bands, and me personally, I've just seeing the more successful bands just taking mental note of what they're doing and how they're sustaining. I think that's valuable.
Yeah, they're always eating food, right? They're always they're not just
Drink water.
water, hydrated. Yep. There you go. I think that's just, we can apply that to all of our lives, right? I mean, like, man, I gotta go to work and finish that accounting project. I better have a glass of water before I get to that. Thanks, Brio, for the life tip. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely, man. Can you tell us anything about the new record, like the progress on it, or kind of when we can expect to hear some of it? You want to let any cats out of the bags?
One cat I will let out of the bag is I think it'll be our record release party. We're playing at the Fillmore, headlining the Fillmore for like the first time on Cinco de Mayo, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. That show's gonna be, that show will probably be a little bit rowdier than the average show. I don't know why. I'm making that assumption.
You know why.
Yeah. I think it's called tequila, margaritas, something like that. All right, man. Well, listen, we look forward to seeing you in May at the Fillmore. It's going to be a big hometown show, record release party. So everyone go, make sure you support that. Put it in your planner as soon as you get out of here. And let's hear some more songs, guys. Thanks for coming to the KFOG Levi's Lounge and hanging out. It's like a house party, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.